Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Night 5 on Five Nights at Freddy's 2, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. This is, of course, the final night of the main game of Five Nights at Freddy's 2, and I would argue it's actually quite a bit more difficult than Night 5 of the original game, especially if you are pretty new to the game. So yeah, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Hopefully after watching this video you will have a better idea of what you need to do in order to survive this night. It is fairly difficult, so if you die the first couple of times you attempt it, don't be too discouraged. It is a very difficult night. And if you do it first try, then props to you. I don't think I even did this first try. Very first time I played it, I struggled with this night a lot. Alright, so we're just going to wait for the more dangerous or more threatening music to start playing. There it is. Make sure you're winding up the music box the whole time until that starts playing, of course, as it does start to wind down pretty quick on this night compared to previous nights. And we are going to be repeating largely the same strategy as what we've been doing on past nights. We are going to be checking the left vent light, checking the hallway with the flashlight, check it a little more if there's an animatronic there, especially Foxy. Check the right vent light and then pull up the monitor. I accidentally turned off the sound there for a second. I don't know how I managed to do that. Alright, so yeah, basically you're just going to be repeating this strategy over and over. We hear some clanging around in the vents, so we know that the animatronic has entered the vents. Since it played at around the same time as Balloon Boy's audio cue, I think it is a safe assumption it's Balloon Boy. Yep, there he is. So let's go ahead and put on the mask, wait him out. There we go, banging around in the vents, so you are going to want to take off the mask then and check the vent light. Sometimes Balloon Boy won't be gone yet. It'll be a red herring, as there might be another animatronic entering the vents at the exact same time. So if Balloon Boy is still there, then don't worry, just throw on the mask again. You are going to lose a little bit of time on the music box, but don't worry too much about it. I accidentally failed to check the right vent light there, so do not do what I just did. Another thing that I'd recommend doing, that I find myself making this mistake a lot, and I don't want you guys to make it, is make sure that when you're checking the right vent light over here, you wait a second just to be sure, okay, there's nothing in there, you know, because I cannot tell you how many times I've made the mistake of thinking, okay, there's nothing in there, and then just out of reflex, I pull up the monitor and start winding the music box, and there actually was something in there, and I realized just in time for it to kill me. So there's that radio static. That means that Mangle is in the right vent. Oh, and Toy Bonnie's actually there too. That's actually good timing. It may not seem like it, but it is, as we can get rid of two animatronics at the same time. And now we don't have to check the right vent light immediately. There's Chica. When a office animatronic is standing over you like that, one thing that you are going to want to do is have your mouse in the bottom left corner so that you can take off the mask as quick as possible, as I'm doing right here. You'll realize, basically, when you're going to be taking off the mask eventually, you can kind of count the seconds or listen to the sound cues, look at the visual cues, and just know when the mask is going to come off. So you will be able to save a little bit of time checking the vent lights and using the flashlight. I almost died there. For whatever reason, I'm really uncoordinated tonight. I keep accidentally putting on the mask when I don't mean to, and not putting it on when I do mean to. So yeah, it's not going the best for me right now, but I think this is still a decent run. Mangle is now gone. Huh, Woodard Bonnie is the only one in the hallway. I would have expected Foxy to show up by now. And I would recommend also, make sure you're winding the music box for like a maximum of, I'd say 6 to 7 ticks is probably good on this night. You can do a little bit more sometimes if you really need to. But I would recommend 6 or 7 ticks just to be safe, so that there's no chance of Foxy being able to kill you. Flash Foxy about 5 or 6 times in the hallway. Up. And it sounds like Mangle is in the vent at the same time Chica's here. So in that case, you do not want to take off the mask as soon as possible. You are going to want to wait a little bit just to be sure that the radio static stops, because that is not going to be good if you have to put the mask on again to ward Mangle off. You want to be doing things as quickly as possible without rushing. And if you can get rid of 2 animatronics at the same time, that's fantastic. It's already 3 a.m. Time's actually moving a little bit quicker than I thought it would. Obviously, it's the same exact span of time as it always is, but I'm just not paying too much attention. I thought that we'd be at like 2 a.m. right now. No one in the hallway, so don't need to flash it quite as much. Up, there's Mangle. Mangle is really aggressive on this night, actually. Also, one thing that I wanted to mention real quick, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. It doesn't really matter too much, but Toy Freddy and Toy Chica are active on this night, whereas they were not on night 4, I believe. So, yeah, they're not going to really do much. Toy Freddy especially really isn't going to be much of a threat at all, especially past 12 a.m. But it is good to know that this is the first night that you're going to be facing all of the animatronics at the same time. And obviously their AI levels are ramped up quite a bit, so be aware of that. Another thing that I wanted to quickly touch on is how to deal with the vent animatronics efficiently. A friend of mine is currently attempting this night, and I've heard him say multiple times that one of his biggest issues is Balloon Boy in particular is the one he struggles the most with, is where he'll see Balloon Boy in the vent, so he'll put on the mask, and then he'll just wait it out. He hears banging in the vent, so he goes ahead and takes the mask off, and then Balloon Boy's still there. I was actually expecting him to still be there. I was trying to demonstrate a point, but he's actually not. So it does seem a little random sometimes. If you hear banging in the vents and you take off the mask and Balloon Boy or whoever is still in the vents, here's what I'd recommend doing in that scenario. You're going to want to rapidly flash the hallway 3 or 4 times. So let's say I check this, I put on the mask, I take it off, he's still there. I flash the hallway a few times, put the mask back on. And then just wait until I hear banging again, and then just repeat. There is a chance that you can die to the puppet this way, but on night 5, I think you'll be okay. If the music box winds down, since you just flash Foxy multiple times, you're not in huge danger of dying to him, so you can go ahead and wind up the music box a little bit longer than usual, let's say 8 or 9 ticks. So you do, whoops, okay, that was nearly instant. I almost died there because I did not expect that. Keep that in mind also. I touched on this in my Night 4 guide, but I think it's a good idea to mention it again. The animatronics can force down the monitor, and at that point you have very little time to react. So the number one thing on my mind pretty much when I'm winding up the music box is, okay, the second there's a slight change in visual, I'm going to immediately flick my mouse downward and put on the Freddy Fazbear mask. Like, it's just a matter of reflex and muscle memory. Like, I've trained my brain after playing this game for so many hours to go, okay, as soon as there's the slightest change in visuals while I'm winding this up, I immediately flick my mouse down and put the mask on. And it has served me quite well. So it does require a little bit of practice in order to get right, because obviously it is based off muscle memory. And muscle memory, you have to do it a lot before it becomes natural. But if you do play this game enough, it will become natural, and trust me, it will become a lot easier. FNaF 2, I think, is a game that's really beginner-unfriendly, almost, compared to the other games in the FNaF series, which is part of the reason why I really wanted to make guides for this one. But I understand how frustrating it can be as a beginner in this game, compared to the other games especially. It's really hard to learn everything sometimes. So, there we go, guys, 6 a.m. I hope this helped you out quite a bit. I hope that you can now beat Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I know a lot of people tend to struggle with Night 5. And if these guides didn't help you too much early on, like you failed a couple times on Night 5 or you just can't seem to beat it even after watching this, don't get discouraged. Just keep playing. The best way to get better at FNaF, especially FNaF 2, is to play it more. So, if you guys really like the game, then I would hope that you actually want to put enough time into it to become really good at it. So, with that being said, regardless, I hope that this guide has helped you. I hope it has explained some things that you might need to do on Night 5 in order to be successful, and that's mental also. Like, just try not to get discouraged if you can't manage to beat it, but I hope you guys do manage to beat it, obviously. I'm going to stop rambling now. I will be doing a guide on Night 6 and later 1020 mode and all the other custom night presets. So, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I will see you in the next one.